I have grave concerns here in Bucharest, Romania, the Bellu Cemetery. And I just walked in the gate, and it's pretty beautiful. It's got all of these askew stones, slightly askew, not too wild, but lots of variety so far. Some tombs with some interesting sculptures on them. I don't really know anybody in here, though there's a massive list of well-known people. The only one I do know, supposedly, is down this section. They actually had signs for some of the more prominent people. And we will see if I come across him. Otherwise, this is kind of south of downtown, and not too far from a metro station, though I've been walking for a little while. I haven't gone. It's a Sunday, and I went to a flea market, which wasn't great. Mostly flea markets around here about food and clothes. They're not like flea markets in Berlin or other places that have a lot of antiques and whatnot. But this looks to be a pretty big place too. You can see down the lane here. I don't know how friendly they are to me filming in here. Probably not crazy about it, but I'll wait for them to say hey. And it's a fairly warm day. There's a professor who died in 1921, Sion. Professor Dr. B. Sion. It's been a nice week here. Temperatures in the 70s Fahrenheit, and today it's finally starting to heat up into the 80s. It's like some prominent stones here. Dallas, D-A-L-L-E-S, Dallas. Bucharest Expositilor Cooperative. Looks like he was in charge of something. Good variety here for sure. There's even some recent stones in this section, though this mostly looks 1800s, early 1900s. Nice bust there of Irina Polisu. And as I was saying, like, here's a modern one with someone who recently died, 2015. Florin Dumitru Petro. Nice color image on there. You see a large bust over there. Let's go walk into this section. Right over here. Who is this guy? Buzura, academician, Augustin Buzura. Here's an interesting one. This is unlike anything I've seen before. This kind of drawing, essentially, etching. This woman. Oh, it was a man. Or maybe that was his wife. I don't know. I can't tell. Academician Sandui Escu. His wife, Violet. Pretty sure that was him. That's not the first time that's happened to me in this town. Gender bending with the old folks. There's like a street food chain called Luca, and it's got a picture of two kind of rustic figures on there. And I thought it was like a couple. I thought it was a man and a woman, but then I looked closer and I saw that they both had beards. So that threw me off. But this is interesting. These almost look like Brancusi kinds of sculptures, which so far has been difficult to come by. I thought I would see more Brancusi replicas in this town, but no such luck. Everything seems to be either in the art museum or in a town where he lived. Not sure who these folks are. It says Constantinescu. A little brass relief of the couple down there. A little hard to see in the shadow. But, you know, everything here is interesting. And this is a great city to visit if you get a chance. I'm here for a couple of weeks. And, of course, the big things to do here are things related to Dracula. You know, that's what, if people know anything about Romania, outside of Romania, it's related to the Soviet era, communism, and Ceausescu. Or they know, of course, about Transylvania and Dracula, of which there is not much. You know, everybody goes to this Bran Castle because that's where this looks like a military hero anytime you see the colors. In Bran is the castle that they use for filming. They say, oh, you know, this is Dracula's castle, and they're going through the mountains in Transylvania and all these steep cliffs. There's a cool one here with this propeller. But anyway, Vlad Dracul was never there. It's just a Hollywood element. There's a little military section here. I think I'm just going to go around the block. So yeah, he was never a Bran Castle, but people will go visit that as, you know, a site for Dracula's castle. But I went to Tragoviste yesterday on the train, and that was a job in and of itself. So I guess in the summertime is when they do construction, and this is a small town in the northwest of Bucharest. There we go. And so it only has one line, so if something blocks the rail line, you get stuck. So we sat there for a good hour waiting for somebody to come and clear the track so we could keep moving. So this town of Tragoviste, which is normally about an hour and 40-minute train ride, was closer to 2.5 hours, and it was similar on the way back. So I would say if you're going to leave Bucharest, after my experience, rent a car. But in any case, Tragoviste has a fortress and a tower where Vlad definitely spent time. He's listed there as the chief, essentially. I'm not sure, I can't read the language here, but he was one of the custodians of this place for many years, and apparently he had the tower built, sort of the symbol of that town. And you can climb up the tower. It's maybe, 10 stories at the most, probably more like 8. Hard to tell, it's just like a big spiral staircase going up there. And the fortress is cool, and there's a beautiful church from the 16th century with mosaics, very kind of Byzantine looking, which would, of course, post-date Vlad's stay there. See, he would have never seen that church. There might have been a different one there. But he was there in the 1400s, and this church is from the mid 1500s. So you think, oh, this is a church maybe that Vlad the Impaler attended, but no. Maybe afterwards. There's a cool statue over here I want to go check out. This could take a while. This is a big cemetery, and the person I thought would be here is not. There's a priest in this little chapel. I can't really even get to this. I'll show you the cemetery. Excuse me, I'll show you the statue. I'm showing you the cemetery as I go. I'm always sort of like half awake when I do these things somehow. I'm just preoccupied and a little bit wasted from the sun. So I picked, it's like 1 p.m. 1 a.m. 1 p.m. here. And so it's just starting to heat up. I could use a drink. Some great stuff in here, but they really don't have any lanes for me to walk through, but you can kind of see this beautiful Art Deco looking angel. I wonder who that is. Very tight to get in there. So the poet Eminescu is here, and that's who I'm looking for. I'm sure it says it in the title. But where he is, I don't know. As usual, I would expect a little crowd around his tomb. Or his grave, I should say. I'm pretty sure it's a grave and not a tomb. Like these are tombs here. Family tombs with some beautiful ironwork on the gate. Oh, and a kitty, a little cemetery kitty. Oh, he's going to go run away. There he is. Whoa. He's quick. Seeing cemetery kitties here and there. Not a bad place for any animal to hang out, depending on what other animals of prey are in here. So anyway, Tragaviste is a cool visit, but it was a bit laborious with the train. It's a cool military grave here, Nicolescu. Also a doctor. He's also got his dog grave down here. Very slowly. See a little stone for the dog down there. It's a bit in the shade. Here goes quite a tomb over here. Beautiful. No idea though. My gimbal here is a little loose. I haven't used this in a while. Getting more modern stuff here. Cool stone right here. Sultana Bastea. It's got a man and a woman. The woman seems to be more prominent here, although hard to tell. The man's got his bust on the top. So anyway, Tragaviste also has a communism museum in the building where Ceausescu was killed. So that certainly is, the building in and of itself is very historic. But I didn't get a chance to go into the museum because I had spent so much time on the train I had to turn around and it was closing at 4. But that's okay. Sometimes these museums are sort of propagandistic. It's really more the site, the historic site of it. So I think I've done a full round. Here's an interesting section of open tombs. Get my camera to point down. All empty. either refurbed or being repurposed. So the other big town to go to is Brasov. And it's kind of far away too. We're talking another 2.5 hour train ride. So if you're not staying overnight, that's 5 hours on a train in one day. And to me, that's kind of a lot. Though I'd like to go. It doesn't leave. I know I have to leave early. Wouldn't leave much time. And it's from there that people will go see Brown Castle. But I don't see that happening for me. We'll see. Is it cool in here? Otherwise, there's this Pele's Castle, which is about a half an hour closer. There's a cool one here. Was Niculescu. So Pele's Castle looks beautiful to visit, but also, just far away and difficult to do all this in one day. You can get on these tours and they will do Pele's Castle and Brasov and Brown Castle all in one shot. But it's a 13-hour day. I really want to be trapped in a van or whatever with a bunch of tourists for 13 hours. So it would avoid the hassle that comes with train travel, but I don't know. I feel like it would be a little torturous too. So generally I would say rent a car, but I don't feel like doing that either because I don't want to drive in Bucharest, which is a little chaotic, and pay for parking and all this stuff. So, you got to pick your battles, and I'm sort of having a better time here in Bucharest itself anyway. Well, I wonder where Eminescu is, because the sign said he was down here and I have yet to stumble upon him. And he's the main guy I want to spot here. Give you a general look. I don't think I walked by it. That's, sometimes that happens. I'll just walk right by the grave I'm looking for. We could have very well been in that first row, but the sign made it look like he was down a bit further. Let's see if there's any more detail on the sign that I overlooked. Some cool tombs here. Back to where I started. Now, it doesn't say anything, it's just an arrow to the right. That's okay, because I wanted to show this tomb here. I thought it looked really cool. I don't know what's going on here, but it's a beautiful sculpture. And it's also got this modernistic door on the tomb itself. So let's just follow the arrow and go down there one more time, since it's an interesting enough area, and he is supposedly down here. There were other names on there. Francesi, military stuff, academic stuff. Let's see. Nice in the shade. The other Dracula place is a monastery, which is on an island just north of the town, just north of the city, I should say. And that's Dracula's tomb is there in that monastery. And I think that looks pretty worthwhile to check out just for the location itself. That's half the fun in a way. You pick a place to go, and even if the place itself doesn't quite work out, you end up seeing pretty cool stuff along the way. As is the case, within the cemetery, because I may not find the person I'm looking for, but I'm seeing a lot of other interesting stuff along the way. And even the part of the city that it has brought me out to was interesting. And the city itself, there's a little map up here, maybe we'll find them, is definitely got a lot of vestiges of the communist era. There's still a lot of rundown buildings here. But it's also kind of, wow, so you see all of the prominent names here. And sure enough, they've got the Eminescu here. They have a thing tells me where I am. Okay, he's in figure 9. And it's grave number 8. So he's right behind me somewhere. I see, and then there was a Catholic section. Actually, no, I haven't even been to the Catholic section. That's beyond where I was. Okay, but he's pretty close to the edge. I'm just going to walk down this end because this thing's pretty good looking here. Definitely getting the, that's Mavrodin, Sofia Mavrodin, who died in 1905. Getting the side eye from people. So Eminescu is prominently featured in this town. You'll see his image everywhere. There's a beautiful kind of romantic 19th century photo of him as a young man. And that's reproduced on different cultural institutions and bookstores and things. So, looking for section 9 here. Here's section 10 in front of me. And this must be 9 over here. So, I've certainly walked right by. It's got to be a bit deep into the section. Okay, this is it. This is the section. Okay, I'm seeing a flag. I'm going to guess that's it. We were just here a second ago. All I had to do was turn around. Sure enough. I just had my back to it. Mihai Eminescu. 1850 to 1889. So only lived to be 39. And it looks like there's a whole section of prominent folks here. Caragiale, Sabulescu. Get a better look at Eminescu's grave here. Saduvanu, Kozbuk, Calinescu. Any Romanians that happen to catch this should, of course, correct me. Not that you'll be able to convey pronunciation through text. So there it is. Quite a beautiful place. And nobody here, to my surprise.